Good day everyone, we are the Group 6 and we are going to present our study entitled Academic Stress Influence on Food Intake and Nutritional Status of College Students. First, let me give you a little background about this study. As years pass by, stress has become an inevitable aspect of academic life among students, especially the college students. These stress are felt by this group of people because of the pressure and expectations set by the society. Another factor that brought this impact to the students are the exhausting academic activities given to them. Because of being prone to stress, there is a very evident implication of distinct shift in a student's life. There is an alteration in terms of sleeping patterns, social activities, as well as their eating patterns. In short, they experience changes and adjustments. According to various studies, increased level of stress among students is directly proportional to their nutrition and eating behavior. They tend to acquire deprived quality of nutrition and poor dietary behavior when they experience more stress. Furthermore, most of the students who are stressed consume more unhealthy than healthy food products, and then it will result to weight changes. Though they understand what stress is and how this rules out, they do not know how to cope and manage this academic stress, and that is their top concern. Because of their poor stress management, their nutrition and eating behavior are being altered. Based on the problems identified, the researchers created objectives that aims to evaluate the influence of academic stress on food intake and nutritional status of college students in Central Mindanao University, specifically the College of Human Ecology, which is specifically aiming to determine the nutritional status, to evaluate the quality and frequency of food intake, to identify the level of academic stress, and to analyze the significant effect of academic stress on the food intake and nutritional status of college students in the College of Human Ecology at Central Mindanao University. Now, this study provides various significance, not just for the researchers, but for the academe, registered nutritionist dietitians, students, and future researchers. For the academe, this study will help them determine specific strategies to address the academic stress experienced by their students and to improve their academic competence. For the R&Ds, it will help them provide data and conclude the best interventions on how to enhance the students' eating behavior and ameliorate their nutritional quality and status. For the students, this will help them better understand how stress is linked with nutrition, how to manage stress, and to create a better life and better health. For the future researchers, this study can be a baseline in conducting researches related to this study. Now, let us proceed to the scope and limitation of this study. So, the study respondents will be randomly selected from students studying specifically at the College of Human Ecology from the first year to fourth year students. The food intake will be identified through food frequency questionnaire, and the nutritional status will be determined using the waist-to-hip ratio, or the WHR. In doing the data gathering, the researchers will use Google Forms as their medium. To let the respondents know how to measure the WHR, or the waist-to-hip ratio, the researchers will provide references to measure it. Now, the hypotheses of the study are the following. For the null hypothesis, academic stress does not significantly influence the food intake and nutritional status of college students. And for the alternative hypothesis, academic stress has a significant influence on the food intake and nutritional status of the college students.
In this study, we will measure the relationship of academic stress on the food intake and nutritional status of college students. We will measure academic stress according to these parameters, namely physical factor, behavioral factor, social factor, and emotional factor. We will measure the food intake according to these parameters, namely food selection, eating pattern, and unhealthy eating behaviors. And we will measure nutritional status according to these parameters, namely overnutrition and undernutrition. Our methodology, the research design is retrospective causal comparative. This study will be conducted from January to June 2020 at Central Mindanao University.
The participants of this study will be the first year to fourth year level students of the College of Human Ecology. For the sampling procedure, we will be utilizing stratified random sampling wherein 295 students will be chosen randomly. So for the first year level, 97 students will be chosen randomly. For the second year level, 81 students will be chosen randomly. For the third year level, 76 students will be chosen randomly. And for the fourth year level, 41 students will be chosen randomly. For the data collection, we will be utilizing an online survey questionnaire as the instrument. The content of this survey will be the food frequency questionnaire and the academic stress scale. This will determine the food intake and the level of academic stress of the students. So the process flow will start with the validation of instruments and questionnaires, and then we will hit approval of our manuscript by the IERC. And after the approval, we will start the dissemination of informed consent form. And after that is the dissemination of survey forms via Facebook, Messenger, and email. And then the data collection through Google Form will commence. So random selection of participants will be followed, wherein they will answer the food frequency questionnaire and the academic stress scale or ASS. And then data analysis will follow and the statistician consultation, wherein statistical analysis of simple statistics and regression analysis will follow.
As for ethical considerations, approval of Institution Ethics Review Committee, which are appointed for ethical standards to review research protocols. Next, the respondent must sign an official informed consent or consent form before the study may begin. Additionally, the participant has the freedom to withdraw their participation during the activity. And next is the systematic and unbiased data collection, wherein the respondent should be presented with systematic explanation on how the research works, and the respondent should not be manipulated during the research process. As researchers, we must ensure the confidentiality of our respondents' identities and personal information during this research. Next is the data analysis. The researchers collected simple descriptive statistics and regression analysis, wherein in the first three objectives, which are determining the nutritional status, evaluating the quality and frequency of food intake, and identifying the level of academic stress, simple statistics is used in getting the mean, frequency, standard deviation, and percentages. Because simple statistics provides determination of the data set's ability to acquire quick and concise view of the data. Next is the fourth objective, wherein regression analysis is used in significant effect of academic stress on college students' food intake and nutritional status, which determines the independent variable's effect on the dependent variable. As for the dummy tables, it outlines how the results of the trial will be reported, and it allows cross-checking against questionnaires to ensure they are collecting all the correct data. So Table 1 shows the descriptive statistics on stress levels among College of Human Ecology students for all 4 academic years from first year to fourth year. So academic stressors, for example, is fear of failure, and to test that or to assess whether it is low stress, moderate stress, and high stress, and also to solve the mean and standard deviation. Next is the Table 2. It is the characteristics of respondents regarding the dietary intake. It is the average food they eat for a month, or what kind of food they eat, for example, vegetables, meat, so on and so forth, and to test the frequency and the quality of food intake of the college students. Next is the Table 3, which is the results of comparisons of food intake on low, moderate, and high stress. It is to analyze the significant effect of academic stress on the food intake and nutritional status of food intake of the college students. And it is also to assess the low stress, moderate stress, high stress, mean, and the t-value. Next is the table 4. It is the results for the waist to hip ratio of the college students by gender. And it is to assess the low stress, moderate stress, high stress, mean, and the t-value. As for the table 5, this is the stress level of students to their waist to hip ratio. It is to identify the level of academic stress among college students. Lastly, this is the table 6, regression analysis of academic stress on food intake and nutritional status, wherein it determines the independent variables effect, which is the academic stress effect, on the dependent variable, which are the food intake and nutritional status, and also to solve the F value, R squared, and T value. That could be all, and thank you for listening.